Now, the first thing we need to do is realize that network marketing is an industry of marketing and promotion pursued by people who have no idea how to market or promote. And that's a quote that I came up with almost 3 years ago now, and I think it really sums up this industry very well and why so many people struggle. I know it's a bit ironic, but when you think about it, you'll probably find, as I did, that it is a very simple truth. 90% of networkers are really employees with no business ownership experience whatsoever. Now, this is also why so many upline leaders teach the shotgun approach of making your list of 100 warm market contacts, getting information to them, and seeing who sticks. Anyone can do that. You don't need any marketing skills whatsoever. Now, the only reason you're told to go out and make a list and give CDs to your, about your website or about your opportunity to those 100 people is that your upline knows that you've only got about 1 or 2 weeks of really good, pumped up emotional enthusiasm about your new business, and then the likelihood that you'll ever do anything drops down to about 30% or less. Now, there are smarter ways to build your business, which is really what magnetic sponsoring is all about. And the first thing that we need to do is to define our target market. Now, essentially, your target market consists of people who are already using or consuming what you're promoting. Now, when I first got started with my primary company, I had just quit my full-time job as a physician recruiter for hospitals and was waiting tables. And as I started talking to my sponsor about how I should begin building my business, I had the absolutely brilliant, or so I thought, idea of going after other recruiters like myself, someone who used to, or we used to call headhunters in that industry. And why not, right? What better person to bring into the business than a professional recruiter? I mean, they have great phone skills. They're not afraid to call strangers. They interview people for a living and have massive Rolodexes of top-notch people in various industries. So I thought it was a brilliant idea. Well, a week later, I had found a list that I purchased of 6,000 recruiters from around the country. And I started making phone calls and mailing information packets that I had put together just for these people. 2 months later, the results come in. Big suspenseful moment, right? What happened? Well, nothing happened. I got a 0 response rate. And I had no idea why. But eventually, I realized that you cannot sell a steak to a vegetarian. No matter how incredible it might be, it's just not going to happen. And in this industry, you can't market a product to someone who doesn't have the desire to consume it already present, right? You can't sell an opportunity to someone who isn't looking for one, no matter how perfect you might think they would be for that business or how much money you think they could make. Now, the first rule of marketing is to sell products people want to buy to the people who want to buy them. That's pretty basic stuff, I know, but you'd really be surprised how often people get it wrong, especially network marketers. Now, my personal lesson was learned, and here's what I want to pass on to you today. In our industry, we really have 2 target markets. The first is our potential business partners. Now, this target market consists of one primary group of people, and that is other network marketers, or people who have bought products and services related to building a network marketing business. And that's pretty much it. That is your primary target market. Now, my best advice is to only market to people who are currently in a network marketing business or who used to be in one. Can you go recruit your brother, your neighbor, your doctor, your coworkers, or your Uncle Bob, as I like to refer to it? Absolutely you can, but that should be a by-the-way type of activity, meaning that if you happen to run into them and pique their curiosity and they have a desire to learn more about it and get involved, fantastic, but you shouldn't have to sit there and try to convince them to get involved and convince them that this is something that's right for them, because the results are always going to end up in disappointment for you. Only market to other networkers because these are the people actively buying what you sell. Makes sense, right? Now, opportunity leads are typically opportunity seekers, which is different than an opportunity buyer. Network marketers are opportunity buyers. And a business seeker is really nothing more than someone who filled out a survey and raised their hand and basically said, yes, I would like to earn extra money. And that's it. They're no different. That's really no different than me saying, I'd like to play professional baseball, right? And you might answer an ad that is recruiting for the Rockies or something, who knows, right? So we're looking for people who already play the game. Now, personally, I never buy opportunity leads anymore. And if I were, then I wouldn't market my primary business to them to begin with, at least on the front end. I'd really market a front-end retail product like magnetic sponsoring and myself as a leader. And essentially, this is going to help me generate instant cash flow to pay for the lead costs That's going to save me a lot of time because it helps me instantly identify who's truly serious about building a business and who isn't. So our second target market consists of product consumers. Now, because most people are in a nutrition-based opportunity, let's go ahead and use that as an example. Now, I think most people would think that their target market consists of people who have health issues, right? But we really want to get more specific than that. How about people who have health concerns and who actually spend money each month on health products, right? These people are your true target market. It's not someone who has just concerns, but it's someone who is, again, out there actually buying products already. So just remember the difference between people who simply inquire about your offer and those who are already spending money on something similar. So how do you find two people in these two different categories that we've talked about? Well, that's really easy these days thanks to the internet. Now, for example, in the MLM Traffic Formula course, we teach you how to set up an entire marketing and lead generation campaign using articles, online press releases, search engine optimization placement, and even pay-per-click. Now, pay-per-click is my personal favorite because it allows me to show my advertisements just to the people who are actively looking for what I'm promoting. And again, this is called target marketing, and it really is the foundation of your marketing efforts. Now, when it comes to finding other networkers, a lot of people ask me about genealogy lists. And basically, these are lists of other network marketers and distributors from their company or upline who have gone out of business and left the industry, and you can buy these online. And these are obviously targeted lists, but you're left with the problem of how to contact them. You can't email the list because they didn't opt into your list, which means the only other option you have is to call them. Now, personally, I didn't get involved in MLM to make 100 to 300 cold calls a day. It's what I did in my corporate job, and that just doesn't appeal to me in any way, shape, or form. So, as I was calling genealogy lists, I really thought to myself and looked for a way and just asked myself, how could I get these people to contact me? And I found that. And eventually, we turned that into the Magnetic Sponsoring course, which is what that teaches. In the last 60 days alone, as an example, over 15,326 network marketers have contacted me, and I didn't have to lift a finger to make this happen. Now, it's not hard to do. It just isn't taught by anyone else out there because they want everything to be really third-grade duplicatable, right? Well, that's not really what we're teaching. If that's the route you want to take, that is fine, but it's not something that I'm interested in because personally I never really got results in that manner. In the end, the best way to reach out and get in front of other networkers is to advertise, and that's really what changed my entire business around. But you need to use magnetic sponsoring strategies or you're going to go broke faster than you possibly ever want to. And we're going to talk more about this later, but let's change gears for a minute. And I want to dive into a little bit more about prospect psychology. And let me ask you a question real quick. Have you ever wondered why people say no to your offers? Did you ever have a great discussion with someone who was really interested in your product or your opportunity, yet you could never get them back on the phone? I know that's happened to me many of times in the past. And let me tell you now why that happens and how I figured out how to prevent it.